Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Papa One's Cracking. It's D. Apparently, Jamie Charlie is in some more mess, okay? This is like blowing up. It's some, things he's been accused of again. It's like, how many times we gonna go through this? So it's some crazy stuff taking place, and now he's responded to these allegations. I got a short overview of what the allegations are, but I'm sure they will address it in this video and give better detail than I can give. But yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's watch.
You guys, the internet is currently on fire right now over something that we have got to break down more. James Charles has finally come forward to address everything going on. James is officially calling out Zach Sellers, branding him a liar, accusing him of spreading misinformation, and threatening a full-blown defamation lawsuit. Yep, you heard that right. He is saying see you in court, or at least threatening to. We are going to get into everything that is being said. So on Wednesday, James Charles posted a TikTok where he talked about why he stayed silent on this topic for a little while, saying that he wanted to wait until after Kayla Malik's recent court win against Evan Johnson, the ex-boyfriend at the center of the entire situation here. And for those who haven't been glued to every detail, Evan Johnson was accused of serious things by Kayla, and the court ruled in her favor, and he's going to jail for 18 months. This alone is huge, and James says that this was the reason why he felt free to speak on the situation now, as he didn't want to affect the case in any way. In his TikTok, James was also trying to...
So from what I've gathered, because she's not repeating, which is so interesting, because any other time you repeat what the hell happened about 30 times, but I guess you ain't doing it this time. So apparently he has this friend, and she was, getting abused by this guy, and he slept with the guy apparently. So that's the overview that I just quickly read. I'm not sure if there's more to it. There may be, I'm sure, and hopefully she goes over there.
Shut down all of the accusations, denying any wrongdoing in the situation, and straight up was calling out Zach Sellers, who, if you don't know, has been the most vocal person trying to hold James accountable for his role in this whole mess. So in James's video, he's claiming that he does not support Evan Johnson, and he has cut ties with him completely. He also says that him and Kayla Malik were not that close despite the public's perception, and he insists there was never anything romantic between him and Evan. And for the record, this directly contradicts what Zach Sellers has been saying. To refresh everyone's memory, Zach was friends with Evan until he saw Kayla's video exposing him and detailing what he did to her during their relationship. That's when he totally took Kayla's side and has been spreading around her story trying to get justice for her, but in doing so, he also revealed that James Charles had some association with Evan Johnson, claiming that James was pursuing Evan behind the scenes despite being friends with Kayla. So the internet was getting really upset. One, they were disappointed to...
So he fucked his friend's man, and you fucked the man that apparently beat her, or allegedly beat her, rather. I don't know these people.
Here of James possibly trying to pursue a younger guy once again, who according to Zach was straight. People felt that James was not changed from his previous cancellations upon hearing this. Not only that, but there were accusations of James trying to help Evan out despite the accusations made against him. And then, of course, people were upset because Kayla and James have made content together, and people thought that they were close. So to hear that he was trying to pursue Evan, they were like, why are you trying to pursue a friend's ex-boyfriend? But in this video James made, he was saying that what has been said about him is not true.
I do not support Evan Johnson in any way, shape, or form. Let me make that clear. I don't support him, I don't support violence against women, and I sure as hell do not support the disgusting, deplorable, violent, heinous acts that he committed against Kayla Malik behind closed doors.
James had filmed this prior to the court hearing, but didn't post it until afterwards, but he explained further why he stayed quiet until now.
This is going to court this week. Anything I or anybody else says online can and probably will be used by either Evan's defense attorney or the judge to affect the outcome of its ruling. And I didn't want to put Kayla at any risk for that. I hate that I'm getting online and filming this video right now, but I truthfully have no other choice because I've also spent the last several weeks trying to get in contact with the only person involved in this that actually matters and needs to hear the truth, and that's Kayla Malik. And she has been unwilling to have a conversation with me.
Not really the best sign that Kayla doesn't want to talk to James, at least not for James, because his whole argument in this situation is that him and Kayla weren't actually that close. Kind of seems to be a defense for why he wasn't asking her more about her breakup and why it wasn't so bad to be associated with Evan. But James goes on to say that he's suing Zach Sellers for the lies being told about him, and he just has no...
How the hell does Zach know what he doing with his pussy? How does he know that he fucked the dude? Like, do you have actual proof? This is what I talked about in that other video where the girl was trying to expose Deshae Frost. How are you coming out as a third party that has nothing to do with the situation, trying to expose somebody else and be like, oh, this person fucked that person? How do you know for sure? People lie all the time. Like, how do you know? Did you see any actual video of them getting it in? Like, how would you know that he slept with him? That's what I want to know.
other choice than to do this.
Do I really want to know enough to go back and look at all the videos? No. So I'm saying that not seriously, all right? But if you're going to mention in this video, cool, but am I going to look further? No.
I'm suing Zach Sellers and anybody else that thinks it's funny or entertaining to get online and spread defamatory and slanderous lies, misinformation, completely up stories for the sake of views, likes, and
the way he talking it's kind of believable. I ain't gonna lie. This doesn't seem like the demeanor of somebody who actually did what they're being accused of. Like there's a bit of sass and confidence, like I'm coming for y'all bitches. Like that's what it's like, oh y'all got me fucked up because I didn't even do that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I don't know for sure though, because Jamie Charlie has been on some bullshit in the past, and you know I'm not saying that he's innocent in any of this, but the vibe I'm getting, if I'm reading this well, is that he did not do what the nigga is saying he did.
In galaxies, I'm done.
Like we heard from Zach, James then goes on to say that he reached out to Kayla in January to be in a Valentine's Day campaign with Evan for his painted brand. And that's when she told him that they broke up. James included a screenshot of their text messages that said, "Do you want to be in a painted video with your man?" And she says, "I'm not even joking. This made me pissed. I broke up with him effing last night. I saw your story and was crashing out, LMAO. Tune in for the 30-part Who the F Did I Marry series." And he said, "What?" And she said, "Girl, he's effing crazy." James then says, "What happened? Can I have him now? LMFAO. I'm so sorry, Kayla. You deserve..."
All right, you ain't shit. Jamie Charlie is so fucking trifling. I would block the bitch who said this to me. I'm telling you that, oh yeah, nah, I'm no longer with this person. Even if we're not even that close, you're an associate. If you gonna be like, oh, can I have them now? Bitch, go to hell, eat a dick. Never fucking with you again. How trifling. He's fucking trifling. But again, that don't mean he actually did it. he sounded like he wanted to, okay? But maybe he just wasn't able to get the D. But it sounded like he wanted to and he probably would have if he could have. That's what it's given with his trifling ass. But, child, no, you fucking lying.
Or better. And she said, "Imagine like the worst things a human can do to you. It would take hours to text it. But you'll see the series soon because WTF, LMAO. But thank you so much. Congrats on the..."
And look, she completely ignored that comment. Why would you say that? Who says that? That's so weird.
Love. He texted back and said, "Oh God, you're actually doing a series on it. I'm sorry." And she said, "Oh, just wait, because I gave this man a platform based off his lies, but I'm a way to heal from it and then clock it." And James said, "I'm sorry, Kayla." And she said, "You're so good. Thank you, sister." James in his TikTok then admits that he didn't take the conversation very seriously, which he now regrets.
Going to be so honest, I did not take this conversation very seriously. And obviously, now knowing what we all do, I should have. Reading it back now, it is super clear that she was using humor to cope, and that is perfectly fine and valid. But at the time, I genuinely interpreted these messages as a messy breakup. Maybe he cheated, maybe they got into a drunken argument that ended badly. I could have never imagined what she was actually going through behind the scenes. I wish that I would have asked more questions, but frankly, I didn't feel comfortable.
Well, yeah, how would you know? Why would people, I don't even think that, oh, he ain't shit because she was getting beat. Like, how would he know that?
Well, doing
especially if he's saying they wasn't that close.
First and foremost, she obviously wasn't ready to talk about it yet based on her last message. And secondly, me and Kayla Malik just weren't close friends. I don't say that to take away from her feelings about this. I don't say that to undermine what she went through. We've only met a couple of times. We collabed in 2023, she guest starred on the podcast with me in 2024, and we hung out at our mutual friend's Halloween party back in October. We've never hung out one-on-one. We've never had a deep conversation. I just really didn't know her that well to be able to interpret these messages and have a better idea of what was actually happening behind closed doors.
James then admits...
That's fair, but you still ain't shit. I don't care if I met you once, twice, whatever. If I'm telling you I broke up with somebody and you're talking about, can I have them now?
That he had a friendship with Evan Johnson and says that he wanted to be there for Evan just hearing what Evan was telling him.
I really to admit it, but I did have a brief friendship with Evan Johnson that started and ended well before I ever learned about any of the violence that was going on behind the scenes. He reached out to me a couple of days later asking me for advice and told me the same exact story
and you was trying to fuck, bitch.
And then repeated on the Be Better podcast, which was that the relationship was toxic, they both said things and did things that they shouldn't have, and a bunch of other stories that genuinely made me believe Evan Johnson was the victim in the situation. He told me that he moved back to Nashville to go to church and get therapy and try to become a better man. And
he is such a pick-me, bruh. It made me believe that, oh, he was the victim. You wanted him to be the victim so you could coddle him and you can get them draws. That's what you wanted to do with your bitch ass. He get on my nerves. He ain't shit.
Vulnerable. He seemed real, and he seemed scared that Kayla was going to get online and...
You don't even know him. You claiming you don't even know the girl, so I know you don't know her man. The fuck? So what you mean?
Start telling lies about
He
him.
seemed
He knew
genuine.
exactly what to say to relate it back to a situation that I was in that made me have sympathy for him and be on his side. I feel so forever believing him, but when I was in a similar situation, all I cared about was anybody treating me like a human being and hearing me out and being there for him, so that's what I tried to provide. We became closer, we started FaceTiming, he was very impressed, and eventually he told me that he wanted to come out to LA to escape and get his mind off of things for a weekend, so I invited him out. All we did was sit on the couch, order food, watch movies.
Yeah, you are. Okay. This is why people are saying that y'all fucked, because you was trying. Whether you actually were successful or not is another conversation, and maybe you were not. That's probably where all that sass and confidence is coming from, because you're like, he actually didn't even let me fuck. It never even happened, so yeah, I'm about to sue, because you're actually lying, because it didn't technically happen. But you sound like you wanted it to happen. Y'all hung out on the couch eating pizza. Why the fuck you sitting with that girl, man? I don't care if you met her a couple times. Y'all still have some type of association. So you trifling as hell, doing all this behind her goddamn back. He ain't shit.
He goes on to say that he started to be suspicious of Evan, and that
This is the
he
Evan?
lied to
I know you
Kayla at
lying.
one point, and eventually had to
Wait, my trip. I thought I seen another. That's him?
ask Evan
I've seen pictures of people, but I don't know who's who.
to leave his house, and then he stopped talking to Evan. Now, this kind of lines up with what Zach Sellers had said, that James and Evan hung out in LA. James did lie to Kayla about being with Evan at one point, but James is saying there was nothing romantic that happened between them, just trying to paint this out to be someone that he was helping as a friend, which is interesting.
But over the course of the weekend,
Shut the hell up.
I slowly started to notice that some of his stories were not exactly lining up. There were inconsistencies, and I started to get worried that I might be on the wrong side of things, and that was confirmed as soon as Kayla noticed that he was at my house and I had to lie to her. I didn't know what to do. I realized then that I was in the middle of a very situation that I should have never gotten involved with in the first place, but this man was staying with me, and I didn't know how to get out of it. Later on that night, I told Evan straight up I was uncomfortable, I was upset that I had to lie to her, and that we could not hang out any further. He respected that, and the next morning, he flew home. As soon as Evan left LA, I immediately started making myself...
Flew home. So this man, I know you lying. So you flew him out, or he flew out to stay at your house? I thought you meant like, oh, he came over, like he lives in the area and he drove over to my house. We hung out for a bit, then he went back home. This nigga was staying with you?
Unavailable to him because I recognized that he was not the man he was telling me he was. But it wasn't until a month later, when Kayla uploaded her video, He Doesn't Love You, that I actually got to sit and watch how much of a monster he is.
James says that after seeing Kayla's video, he started getting messages from Zach Sellers warning him to cut Evan off. James was sure to include private messages from Zach too, where we can see in both 2020 and 2023, he sent messages to James that said, "You cute, keep being you." And he had replied to one of James's...
Wait, who is this again? Who is the person that exposed Jamie Charlie? Zach. And Evan is the nigger.
Sellers warning him to cut Evan off. James was...
That I actually got to sit and watch how much of a monster he is.
James says that after seeing Kayla's video, he started getting messages from Zach Sellers warning him to cut Evan off. James was sure to include private messages from Zach too, where we can see in both 2020 and 2023, he sent messages to James that said, "You cute, keep being you." And he had replied to one of James's story before saying, "Good morning, handsome. Maybe one day you'll reply, LOL." And then we can see in February, he says something that is in reference to a conversation that James must have had with him and maybe Evan, where he says, "James, you were right, blink or stupid, as we lost at the casino." Then we can see in March, Zach sent a message to James that says, "I need to get you to teach me how to do my makeup, ha ha ha." Evan said, "You need to start buying painted," when I picked him up from the airport, ha ha ha. In April, we see that Zach says, "Hey James, between me and you, I think you should cut Evan off completely. He really did do some unacceptable-ish and told me last week that you were taking his side. Please keep this between us, but I cut him off today." He once again messaged and said, "Urgent, hey man, the things Evan has done is true and had us all manipulated. I've been posting my side of the story. Evan texted me and said you told him to stay quiet and that Kayla is a liar. I also have his location when he came to LA to stay with you when no one knew and doesn't know. People are asking for more information. If you want to reach out, let me know. Just trying to get the story out because he's evil. I was best friends with him here in Tennessee before Kayla's YouTube. Zach then messaged again and says, is that something you want to keep private? I wanted to at least try to attempt to reach out to you. We've been on FaceTime in Evan's car that night when me and Evan were going to the casino. So if you're confused, Evan's ex-modeling buddy, he always talked about, just let me know. So in what James goes on to say, it seems like he's upset that Zach has been seen in this good light despite having also been friends with Evan. And I think the reason why Zach has not really been questioned.
Zach ain't shit. Those conversations were hella messy. He's clearly looking for clout. I don't trust him either. Fuck out of here, Zach.
Too hard about this is because he has been speaking out and saying all these things about James, and people know that Kayla and Zach are good.
Hi, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. We just finished with our interview.
That don't mean I don't give a fuck that they're good. I don't like him either. I don't like any of these people. I don't know them, but Kayla, I don't know her. She ain't really said much. Mine is her. Everybody else, go to hell.
And
oh my gosh.
we just want to let you know that we love you and we support you and we're here.
He seems so fake. I don't like him.
Thank you. I love you guys so much, and I'm like really excited to see you guys.
Yes, I love you, Kayla.
I love you guys.
He fake as fuck.
Have a good day.
Oh my God. Do people not see
When it comes to James, people have been left wondering for the last 2 weeks if he still supported Evan. They had also questioned him as a friend to Kayla, and also were like, so is James not changed from his previous cancellations? These are the reason why James was so talked about, because he hadn't said anything. It made the story bigger because people were like, why isn't he saying anything? Is it because he's guilty? The silence made the story bigger. Honestly, if he had just come out and said, like, I don't support Evan Johnson, like the first time his name was mentioned, I feel like it would have saved him a little bit, but the story just kept getting bigger as people had more and more questions every day. James is admitting to being just friends with Evan though, and nothing more, and claims that he cut Evan off after he heard everything. He definitely just seems mad that he's the only one getting clocked for his association in any way with Evan when Zach isn't, and is basically calling Zach some clout chaser.
Evan, the only reason he even knew
I agree with that. This nigga talks so fast. Jesus Christ.
involved at all was because he was physically with Evan as his best friend, supporting him every single day. It took me 3 days with Evan to realize that something wasn't right here. It took Zach 3 months. So to act this way privately and then to get online as if I'm some monster.
He was staying with you for 3 days, bitch. You know what?
was wild to me. What started off as a video of James Charles supporting Evan Johnson behind the scenes snowballed into more videos, more content, and then live streams. Every single night, Zach has been live asking for galaxies in exchange for showing more receipts. He's been asking his followers for their cities and locations so he can go on tour with Kayla after this is all over with.
Yeah,
he's
gross. And if y'all can't see that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. If you that gullible and you think, oh, he's in the right, everything's fine. He is trifling as hell. He's clearly trying to get some type of fame and, clout from this. Like, go on tour. What the fuck? Who are you people? The fuck is you talking about? You hella messy.
For donations on PayPal to fund a merch line.
James then says, once again, nothing romantic
Go to
ever
hell,
happened with
Zach.
Evan. He never gave Evan money in exchange for anything. He says he doesn't know if Evan lied to Zach about things, but nothing ever happened. He also said he didn't pay Evan's bail because that was another rumor that started going around, but that is pretty much what James had to say. Zach later then got online to talk about the situation and responded to James, saying that he hasn't lied about anything.
Hey James, so I'm on here because I'm responding to your video because you're gonna sue me and I can't wait to receive those papers and take this to court because everything I have spoken about is the absolute truth. Kind of crazy that you've been blowing the hell out of Kayla's phone up and she's not responding to you because she knows what you are and she knows the character that you are and she knows it's the absolute truth. And then you want to...
Or wait, I might be making that up. I don't know if those are the claims. Maybe I made that up. Maybe that was never the claim. So I could be wrong.
Bring up Kayla's messages, my messages, but where are your and Evan's messages off Instagram? Oh wait, it was vanish mode. But just because it was vanish mode does not mean that we can't get a hold of those messages. Because when this goes to court, we will be able to get all of your Instagram messages. And I'm scared for whenever they get over to your Instagram and see.
Why are you inserting yourself so hard into the situation? It has nothing to do with you. You are so thirsty.
Your Instagram messages and all of your vanish mode because you don't want no one to take screenshots because who you think you are and who you are. but I'm scared that there's going to be all these little kids that are going to have to come forward because of all your past allegations. They're going to also look at characters. They're going to look at my character from the past, and they're going to look at your character from the past. And your character from the past is absolutely sick.
Zach then says James is effing with the wrong person and that he won't give up on this.
But my legal team has already been in touch with yours. We're waiting on the papers because we will be subpoenaing your phone. No matter if you have 1, 2, 3, 4 phones, whatever. Because I do know there has been kids that have reached out to me and have shown me evidence where you have said, don't take screenshots. And also, the Instagram messages have been on vanish mode. So this is not just, you taking up for, DV and being against Kayla. This is a lot more to it. So I cannot wait to bring this to court.
So I guess we'll just have to see if James actually moves forward with taking Zach to court, but he's clearly denying being intimate with Evan and is alleging that he
I didn't make that up.
is ready to fight in court. As of right now, though, that's what's been said by him in this.
The ghetto. Let's be clear. Jamie Charlie is trifling as fuck. I'm not saying that he should not be exposed for whatever wrongdoing he did. It should come to light, to some degree by somebody. But I don't like this Zach nigga being the one to do it, and he's going too hard with doing it. If you want to just drop the receipts and be like, hey, this is what happened or whatever, but you going on live asking for PayPal, you want to go on tour with Kayla, you constantly talking about it, making all these stories and you doing too fucking much, and it's very clear what your motive is. So that is gross to me, that you're trying to get clout off of the back of your friend's domestic abuse. That's very scummy and trifling. I don't fuck with him. I don't like him. So whoever can't see through what he's doing, you're blind, because he's on some bullshit as well. Don't like him. Don't trust him. Jamie Charlie is also trifling as fuck. You flew this man out to stay in your house because you wanted some pain that bad. And you like, oh, I want to believe me is the victim, until it became too obvious that he was the abuser. And then you like, all right, I ain't got no choice. You got to get up out of here. Like, you are just trifling and thirsty. You've been thirsty for many years now. Jesus Christ. Somebody wipe him up and give him some dick, because he just will do whatever for it, and he makes some terrible decisions, on the hunt for it. So he is a mess as well. I don't like him or fuck with him either. All these people can go to hell, and the Evan, the abuser, hopefully he get the time that he deserves for whatever he did to that girl, because he's also trifling. And looking at him, it's given, I don't know why Edgar Allan Poe keeps popping in my head. I can't even say what Edgar Allan Poe looks like, but I feel like he would look like him. That's what it's given. I'm just like, y'all doing all this over him, child. Anyway, no shade. I'm just saying, I just wasn't expecting him to look like that, but I guess that's Evan. But yes, all this is a hot mess. It's ghetto. Y'all let me know what y'all think though, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.